Immigration is a major issue that we talk about today. And with each generation, every 4 years, there's a president who comes and deals with this issue. The result, immigration is good for the U.S. economy. Therefore, my partner and I, the Affirmative, have established that immigration does stimulate the economy and enhances performance in day-to-day economical situations. Observation number 1, subpoint A, immigration is legal and illegal. Legal means that it's abiding by the law, and it does go through documentation. And specifically, illegal is the opposite of legal, which means it goes through undocumentation and does not abide by the law. Subpoint B, good for the economy is anything that actually guarantees a higher prosperity rate and does guarantee a growth rate for the system. Subpoint C, the economy of the U.S. is careful management of available resources, such as maybe wages and jobs that employ civilians to be part of the workforce, and specifically, it mandates them to be socialized into business or the economy. Observation number 2, we determine the impact on the economy by looking at employment or jobs. Subpoint A, business owners do create more jobs. Thus, it increases the employment rate. When the business is well, increasing the amount of jobs allows a better fluidity in the economic situation of a company. Subpoint B, lower wage jobs are taken by people who receive barely any education. Take a basket of strawberries. There's one basket and there's another basket. One would be $8, another would be $13. And so when that happens, the one who would be receiving barely any education would take the $8. But when that happens, it's going to drive the cost down and it's going to keep the wage down too. And when it comes to the other basket, which is $13, the wage would have to go up, which means the cost would have to go up too in order to make a profit. So, subpoint C, income taxes act as a source of government revenue. They contribute to the money the national government would receive, and in return the government gives benefits such as Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, retirement money, etc. Now, observation number 3, subpoint A. Legal immigrant entrepreneurs create jobs. It is by Paul McDaniel, and he's a product researcher in the Center for Citizenship and Immigrant Communities at Catholic Legal Immigration Network. Immigrant entrepreneurs create jobs, bring in additional revenue, and contribute significantly to the state's economy. Several California metro areas have relatively high levels of immigrant business ownership relative to the foreign-born share of the populations. In 2010, the foreign-born share of business owners was 44%, Los Angeles 35%, in SF, and 32% in SD. In North Carolina, 2 of the state's largest companies, Bank of America and Relativity Technologies, were founded by immigrants or their children, and the companies combined employ almost 300,000 people. In Florida, new immigrant business owners had total business revenue of $13.3 billion in 2010, almost a quarter of all business revenue in the state. Subpoint B, immigrants impact the wages of people who lack a high school degree. It is by Stephen Camarota. He's a writer for Public Interest, which covers business, the economy, and international news. After reviewing the literature in the field, the NRC study concluded that the negative effect of immigrants primarily takes the form of wage losses for workers who lack a high school degree. This is the only educational group adversely affected by immigration because such a large percentage of recent immigrants lack a high school education, about 40%. And it is only in this skill category that the proportion of immigrants is large enough, 25% by the mid-1990s, to exert a significant downward pressure on wages. Subpoint C, immigrants paid $9 billion in payroll taxes annually. Okay. In 2010, about 3 million people paid over $870 million in income tax using ITIN, according to the IRS. ITIN filers pay $9 billion in payroll tax annually. It works like this. Many immigrants who aren't authorized to work in the U.S. buy fake Social Security cards and present them to their employers, who either don't know they are fake or don't look too closely. When the employer submits a W-2 form and a tax payment on those workers' behalf to the Social Security Administration, the federal government holds onto those payroll taxes even if the Social Security number.
Cross-examination.
So, our point in observation 1.1
point B says that good for the economy is anything that actually guarantees prosperity and high growth for the system. Can you explain what guarantees prosperity and high growth rate for the system?
So like I said, it's anything that actually guarantees prosperity and a high growth rate for the system. And when it comes to that, usually we would judge that by, such as like the criteria of the employment. So when it's talking about employment, we would talk about maybe increasing the amount of jobs that can help the economy.
So what you mean is that the high growth rate for the system means higher jobs for the system?
Well, yes.
Okay, so the economy for the U.S. in subpoint C, for observation 1, the economy for the U.S. is careful management of available resources such as maybe wages and jobs. What do you mean by that?
By wages and jobs. So when it comes to the economy, it does have like a certain like business, and when it comes to that, we would organize certain jobs, wages for the people, so that way there can be some sort of business going on, some sort of like trade in the economy.
So what you mean is that, so when you said it says it mandates them to socialize into business or an economy, does that have to do with available resources?
Yes, it does actually. And I'll elaborate on that. So when it socializes them into the business or the economy, it's talking about like everyone grows up to be employed. They always get a job, and in return, they do receive wages.
So in observation number 2, when you say business owners do create more jobs, thus it creates an employment rate. Can you give us, and you go on to observation number 3 saying legal immigrants, entrepreneurs create jobs, and you say immigrants, entrepreneurs create jobs, bringing additional revenue.